Hey guys, it's God Bars here, the self-proclaimed hip-hop historian, and this is the 279th episode of my series where I grab a vinyl from my collection, talk about why I love it, what influence it has, and what its place is in the grand scheme of hip-hop. So this is definitely a bit unprecedented for the page because before today's pick, I believe the most recent album I had talked about was a couple of reviews ago with R.I.P. Ferreira's Purple Moonlight pages, which came out in 2020. And I have a few other releases in this group coming up that were from 2020 to 2021. However, for this video, I'm actually discussing a project that was dropped just earlier this year, which is Money Has No Owners, the sophomore studio full-length by the extremely talented and promising underground hip-hop duo Midnight Suns, a Marvel superhero-themed act comprised of rapper Zilla Rocca and producer DJ Chong, who together had released their initial self-titled debut album back in 2020. While he does a fantastic job with the instrumentals on this thing, I have to admit I'm not too familiar with Chong, as this is the first time I've ever listened to his work, and the output with Midnight Suns is the only material I see from him on streaming services, though from what I can tell it does seem like DJ Chong Records has a very impressive and devoted roster and a growing fan base. Zilla Rocca, on the other hand, is someone I've been keeping tabs on ever since I was introduced to him and the various other Wrecking Crew members when they appeared on the Making Illmatic series by the severely underrated Questions Hip Hop podcast. And when I say the Wrecking Crew, no, I don't mean the one that played on Pet Sounds, nor am I talking about the one that Dr. Dre and DJ Yella originated from. Though I will admit that those pre-existing entities make it a little harder to find a lot of in-depth information on this Wrecking Crew, especially since it seems like there's other rap Wrecking Crews that have come up since these guys. But from what I do know, this forward-thinking team of artists is made up of Zilla, Premrock, Small Professor, who I mainly know from the '86 Witness album he did with the late icon Sean Price, and Curly Castro, who was probably the first member of the group that I became familiar with through his frequent guest spots across the Billy Woods discography on albums like Today I Wrote Nothing or Maps. The Wrecking Crew has released a number of EPs over the years, as well as 3 studio albums in 2022, including Raheem's Lament, Steel's Kitchen, and Sadal Threat. And much like Wu-Tang Clan or Hieroglyphics, there are various combinations of members within the larger group who have their own separate acts on the side of the Wrecking Crew, like Career Crooks, which is made up of Zilla Rocca and Small Professor, as well as Griff Company, which also includes Zilla along with Curly Castro, and Shrapnel, another act that has been frequently associated with Billy Woods and Backwoods Studios for a while now, which is comprised of Premrock and Curly Castro. Really, everyone involved in this outfit has been on a tear since back when the COVID lockdown first started, and while the sound and feel might vary depending on what act and project you're listening to, they all excel at honoring and putting on for lyrical boom bap from the mid-90s to early 2000s, yet always put a modern, innovative spin on that style. The production from DJ Chong does a perfect job of helping Money Has No Owners fit that same MO, and while it may not necessarily be the most experimental or challenging release in the growing Wrecking Crew discography, I don't think of that as a detriment in the slightest. In fact, I kind of appreciate how this LP feels like a throwback in certain aspects, proving that there's really nothing broken about the time-tested formula of lyrically talented MCs spitting fire over top-notch beats. And that's exactly what we're getting here in spades. Wizard is laying down some killer grimy beats right from the start, but it's around the middle of the album where it really picks up for me, and he delivers some of my favorite instrumentals of the entire thing, with one huge highlight being the track Ignore the Red Flags, which honestly is an insanely impressive and commendable piece of hip-hop by itself, with every aspect of the song, from the sample and DJ scratches to the way each rapper approaches their verse. Sounds as if it genuinely could have been lifted off of some golden age New York classic in the best way possible. All the way down to Zilla peppering his verse with a nostalgic, it's like this and it's like that and I also really appreciate the diversity in ideas, aesthetics, and just the variety of material in general, resulting in an immensely enjoyable 46 minutes of music. And while I can't find any sort of official lyrics anywhere online for these songs, I still want to attempt to share some examples of Zilla's skillful pen here. So just like I'm going to have to do with another underground release coming up in this set, I'm gonna share my interpretation of the lines, which hopefully isn't too far off, though there were at least one or two words I couldn't quite make out, but you guys should still be able to get the idea. The verse I decided to read from comes on Joe Claire, which is hands down my favorite instrumental on all of Money Has No Owners, and Zilla shells out some dense verses with some of the best performances he has on the whole project. Kicking it off with, I'm getting what's mine, $100 budget when I'm ordering wine, old school type of South Philly grind. Fresh out of college, never dropping a dime, my favorite MJ was Remember the Time. My Bandcamp sales like 10 at a time. Look what I got, selling CDs like Kosh, and still blowing up the fucking spot. Cause I'm a silver fox now, horseback like Wade Boggs. And never bogged down, Broken Nature, Eddie Bauer with the Fox sound. West River Drive, now I'm driving with the top down, put it on a plate like we chefed it. It's all about effort, you never did nothing so you never gon' regret it. Why should I play when promoters pay Nathan? I'm taken, some groupies had enough to know amazement. I'm looking like Michael Caine in 73, cufflink silver. Smoke's unfiltered, the flow is so brilliant, it's worth 4 million, sipping crushed grapes from Sicilians, Phantom, brilliant and handsome, zillions, lampin', chillin'. I don't know how to act, when their record label calls I'm never calling them back. Every time they say hello, I say goodbye. I got my eyes to the sky like a lazy eye, with them razor sharp writtens, written on the kitten, charcuterie plate, with some dates, it's delicious. Yo, it's been art since my first album, Rushmore one arm with the perched falcon. Yo, from Joe Claire to Nautica boatwear, this style been so rare. Of course, DJ Chong Wizard does all of the production and scratching on this thing, but while Zilla is the one who's lyrically getting the spotlight for most of this LP's runtime, we do get some welcome guest appearances from a mix of underground contemporaries, including Audie Meyerson, Midas the Beast, Curly Castro, AJ Suede, Def C, Rock, Rich Jones, Andrew, Jesse the Tree, Evan Jacobson, and veteran LAMC Blue. When it comes to my honorable mentions for this one, I want to recommend some dope tracks like Old Money 82, Marathon Man, Men Never Take Advice, Ignore the Red Flags, Terrible Twos, and At the Pool Hall. Then for my overall top 3 favorite songs, I without a doubt would have to go with Tough Guys Fill a Cemetery, Joe Claire, and Blame Yourself. Thank you for watching my 279th video. Next up, we have a group that I've been trying to get on the page forever, so check for that upload, and if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what your favorite moments are off this fire underground hip-hop release. Don't forget to have a great day, and I'll see you next time, okay? Alright.